Violence in adult video games seems more attractive to children and young adults, but behind the fun of the game, it might cause many negative effects on mental and emotional well-being of children and young adults. Violence video games had started to appear a long time ago back in 1940. More advanced video games which involve more violence materials started to appear as time passed by. One of the most famous violence games back in time was a game made by Sega and Nintendo, called the Street Fighters, which violence materials are involved such as red-colored blood. This led to conflicts and many parents complained about this game. However, the aim of these two companies was to bring this game to every family so they can enjoy and have fun. Soon, gun shooting games appeared after the first generation of violence game, the Death Race. In the shooting games, the characters inside can fight back, and the gamers can too. This caused many issues to teenagers and some to their parents. Researchers studied to see if people will get addicted to the game and cause them to do violence toward others in real life. It turns out only a few people have these behaviors, but most of these were big cases. Even though the researchers proved that violence game won't cause big effects on violence or crime toward others in real life, another research had been studied to see which gender witnessed more negative behaviors. As it shows in the statistic, it made comparison between girls and boys for the percentage of which gender witnesses more negative behaviors while gaming. It shows a huge difference between girls and boys for mean or aggressive behaviors and hateful, racist, or sexist behaviors. For the other two comparisons, almost equal number of boys and girls seen other people stopping someone from doing negative behaviors. While research has done for the two genders separately, a gender mixed research on the same topic has been studied too. According to the chart, it made a comparison between how often teens witness negative behaviors and how often they tend to stop these behaviors. 26% of the teenagers who had seen someone doing hateful, racist, or sexist behavior had stopped the person from doing it, which is more than the people saw it but not stopping it. In comparison, more people stopped them than only being a bystander, and 51% of the people had never seen anyone doing those behaviors, which may be meaning there are more people who do not do those behaviors than the ones who do. According to a BBC article by Zoe Kleeman, it discussed research about how violence video games would affect on aggressive behaviors, cognitions, etc. The research showed if playing violence video games would affect the gamers' behaviors, such as aggressive and violent. Dr. Mark Coulson thinks these games should be regulated and make sure that children don't play these inappropriate materials. Even though there are lots of studies done on this topic, the task force said that more data is needed to be able to ensure that if violence video games would lead to violent crime or not. There are some things that the government can do to help stop young adults to play these video games. The government can make specific laws to restrict young children to access violence video games, but not restrict adults for access. California made a rule to restrict children and young adults to buy violence or adult video games, but not interfere the creation of this type of game and adult players to access. Laws should be made for the producer of the violence video games too. The games made should be controlled in a certain level of violent or adult details and should be proved that it will not be harmful to children's emotional well-being. There are some negative solutions that currently exist for restricting young adults and children from having access to these games. The laws currently used for violence video games is an unsuccessful idea. Putting games into a certain age level does not help stop young children from playing these games. Children still have access to buy the game, because the age level is just a warning but not restriction. Violence in adult video games can cause many harmful effects on children and young adults. We should use different solutions to prevent them from playing these games and cause negative effects on their emotional and physical well-being.